I'm going to cover 15 must-start players for Week 13. These are players who have the potential to win your matchup, get you to playoffs, and hopefully win your leagues. Let's dig into it. The first player we're going to cover today is Joe Burrow. The Bengals are underdogs in a huge matchup against the Chiefs with a 53 over-under. As an underdog, Joe Burrow averages 25.8 points per game, 313 yards per game, and 2.2 touchdowns per game. Did I mention he's playing the Chiefs? Money printer, go Burr in this game. A running back we need to think about putting in our lineup this week is Antonio Gibson. When the Commanders are favored to win, he is averaging 13.9 points per game, 96 yards per game, and 18 touches per game. Gibson gets the New York Giants this week, who has the 26th ranked run defense. Going on to a wide receiver that I know you guys all love, Amon-Ra St. Brown, when healthy, is averaging 10.1 targets per game and 20.2 fantasy points per game. He's facing the Jaguars, 30th ranked secondary. This should be a no-brainer. This player is trending up. He's getting more workload, and it's Cordero Patterson. He ran a season high of 14 routes in week 2. This led to 5 targets, his most on the season. His snaps have been increasing in the last 3 weeks, getting more overall workload, which is giving him more potential to be productive. A rookie wide receiver here who's about to go boom is Garrett Wilson. He's been a stud without Zach Wilson, averaging 10.5 targets per game, 19.4 PPR points per game, and 73 yards per game. With Zach Wilson out of the lineup, expect good things going forward out of Garrett Wilson. He is a trendy start for the week. Another wide receiver you want to look at who has been productive all season long is Christian Kirk. In his last 5 games, he's been averaging 73 yards, 9.4 targets, and 17.1 points per game. He's got the Lions this week, who has the 29th ranked secondary. Expect some points in this matchup. And going for a running back here, for your guys' lineups, for you guys to look at here, is David Montgomery. With Khalil Herbert out of the lineup, he's averaging 18.5 touches per game, 72% of the snaps, and 117 yards a game. Faces the Packers, who has the 25th ranked run defense in the league. Should allow him some potential to get you some production. Going on to another running back here to help you out. Kenneth Walker did not do so well in week 12. He played in just 69% of snaps, fewest since week 5. But that was because they were trailing and they were using Travis Homer more in the passing game. Expect more snaps this week. Expect more opportunity, as Seattle is an 8-point favorite against the Rams. This should allow him to be his old self and be productive. I have to give you a tight end to look at here, and I talk about this guy every week. David Njoku, he's back. His snaps increased to an 80% snap share in week 12. He's top 5 in usage among tight ends. We're getting Deshaun Watson back against a 32nd ranked secondary against the Houston Texans. Speaking of the Houston Texans, a lot of people were down on Dameon Pierce. He's still getting a ton of volume, still getting a ton of workload, which is what we want to chase. What really has been impacting his production is that Houston has been trailing more. They have to lean more in the passing game. Pierce is a 7-point underdog this week and is averaging 26% less production in situations where the Texans are the underdog. But the Browns are allowing 135 rushing yards per game, and Pierce is still getting volume, so this could lead to production going forward. Another running back, a stud that you want to look at, and he's a must start no matter what. I don't even have to talk about him. It's Josh Jacobs. As an underdog this season, is getting 25.8 touches per game, 26.5 points per game, 4.3 targets per game. Number 1 in running back work rate. The Raiders are 1-point underdogs against the Chargers this week, and it's got a 49.5 over-under. This could be another splash performance from Josh Jacobs. This wide receiver's coming back healthy. Could be a big impact for us, and that's Juju Smith-Schuster. Last 3 games when healthy, 7.3 targets per game, 22 points per game, and 108 yards per game. Got the Bengals 53 over under. Expect a lot of scoring in this contest. So this is a good opportunity for him to make some fantasy points. We talked about this rookie running back all week long, and that's Donovan Knight. Rostered in about 50% of leagues, rushed 69 yards last week and caught 3 balls. Michael Carter's out. We should see him get opportunities again this week, and he is a good grinder. Remember, he scored 12.3 fantasy points last week, and that could continue for week 13. Another wide receiver we're looking at is Zay Jones of the Jaguars. Been talking about him a lot this week and last week. 19 targets in his last 2 games. 4th game with 10 or more fantasy points. Detroit allows the 3rd most fantasy points in the league to wide receivers. This should be a pass-happy game. Should be a high-scoring game. Should be all fantasy contributors producing in this game. Look at Zay Jones. I got a stud player here that should go off. That is a must start, but maybe think about him more in a DFS angle. That's Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns. Slam dunk stud this week. It's got the Texans, who allows an NFL high 34 rush attempts per game. This is leading to 168 rushing yards allowed per game. Chubb's going to get volume. Chubb's going to get touches. And this is going to present a lot of opportunity. He should be very chalky in DFS, but could be your anchor as well. And obviously in redraft, you're starting him. Dynasty, you're starting him. You're starting Nick Chubb. And that's not even news, but I just want to throw those stats out there. But those are 15 must-start players for this week. Let me know in the comments who you're starting this week, who you're dropping in those lineups. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. This channel's only going to help you going forward with sneaky starts, must starts, waiver wire ads, waiver wire stashes, guys to pick up, guys to trade, and everything else. I want to thank you for watching, though, and I'll catch you on the next video.